So I was in talking to Everett, the cashier, and I was leaning against the counter, and then I just kind of, hey, we're getting ready to go, like, take care. I was talking to him about how he didn't need to be a cashier at a gas station. He should go get a real job and come out and work out where I'm at. And we were kind of having a laugh about that. And so then I turn around, and as I'm turning around, I kind of hear the door opening really aggressively, kind of, like someone being aggressive with the door. And so I kind of, spidey senses kind of tingled a little bit, and I just look over and I see three guys in the door. Well, two came in. At the time, I thought the three of them had actually entered, but we're seeing the video later. You can see that one of them stayed in the doorway. And I saw the gun, and my first kind of thought in the back of my head was, that's an awfully small barrel. Might be a BB gun or airsoft or something, but I wasn't about to take any chances, and I did a quick sweep and with my eyes, and didn't see any other guns. So that was my man, and he wasn't looking at me at all. He was looking right past me at Everett, the cashier, and he shouted, open the register, and he started saying something else, but he took one step too many close to me, and I snatched him up, and I carried him, basically tackled him all the way across the lobby. So you see in the video, I got one hand on the gun and pointed it back towards the coolers, tackled him back to there's a big stack of energy drinks and stuff on the floor, and I tackled him onto that. And at that point, I didn't know if his buddies were coming behind me or anything. I got control of the gun, turned it towards his torso, and then brought it up. And as I'm bringing it up his torso, I grabbed him around the front, spun him around to get him in between me, and if there's going to be any other aggressors coming behind me, I spun him around and put the gun to his temple. And by the time I turned around and got a quick scan of the room, there's no other people in the room, and the other than I forget the kid's name. The other attendant was eating ramen noodles in the back, and he had come out and he had no idea what was going on. And I saw there's no one else there besides him, and I threw the kid on the ground, and I didn't know it was a kid at the time, but I threw him on the ground and went to go cross his ankles to stand his legs up and sit on his legs. And I don't know for sure, but it seemed like he'd been in that situation before, because he was awfully quick to assume the position to be detained. And so I basically put him into a detention position, and I had thrown the gun off next to me after I detained him and was holding him down. At that point, I had told the other guy that, hey, you gotta get the customers out of the pump area. Get everyone out of here. Get the cops called. Keep everyone out of here. And at that point, I had pulled the trigger on it in a scuffle, and the gun felt plastic. Like, it was, all I felt was plastic, and when nothing moved and the trigger didn't go, I thought it was just a toy gun, that cheap toy airsoft or something, didn't have anything in it. And so I threw it down next to me, not thinking anything of it. And so I had him down on the ground, and then when he's telling the dispatcher that it was a fake gun, it's kind of in the back of my head, hey, I should check that again and double check it and clear it. And I trying to force the slide open. The slide won't open up, and I eventually put enough force on it to where it opens up, and I feel the shell hit the casing hit my hand, and I knew it was a real gun at that point. And so I look in my palm. There's a 22 LR in there, and I lock the slide open, and I try to get the mag out. Mag won't come out, so I force the mag to come out. And there was one in the tube, one in the mag, and I threw them off to the side over towards the door. And the kid at this point, he was essentially just wet dish rag. He wasn't going anywhere at that point, and he was crying about I was manhandling him a little too much, and I not so politely told him that I wasn't interested in his pain at that moment. And so the other guy freaking tells them, hey, it's a real gun, and they, you guys need to hurry up, and they come over. Oh, there they are across the way. They were already driving up basically at that point, and so I had a couple other expletives to tell the kid, and I was at that point I realized this guy's really small, and hey, how old are you? And I'm only 14. So at that point, oh geez, like I work at a church. We do a hot rod program, and we have a couple kids that got a little bit of a checkered past, and my only thought was like, man, this kid is just about the same as one of them, and it's like, man, it's like the right age and stuff. It could, who knows? You don't never know if you haven't seen their face, if it's someone you knew or not, or if it was one of the kids, you were trying to help straighten out and something. And yeah, it was kind of disheartening to find out he was only 14, but it was his lucky day. So.
Oh, a morning to remember, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah. Well, so what happened after? Did you still go to work, or did you?
Oh, I went right to work, and it's a normal day.
Did you tell people at work, like,
oh, they already actually they sent someone out here because most of my coworkers drive by and they recognized my Jeep, and they're like, oh well, either James did something stupid or something heroic, and well, it was the second one, thank God. And so they came out here and sent someone out here to go see what the heck was going on, and I told them, because my phone and keys and everything were all on the floor, and I didn't even know I had my keys in my hand at the time. This morning when I saw the video, so I dropped my keys, and before the keys hit the ground, I was hitting the gun and the kid and taking him to the ground. So I didn't know my large self could move that fast.
I'm gonna ask you probably a dumb question, but would you do it again?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. You have to do it. I would like to think more people would do it, but we're responsible for our own communities, and we should be ready to do that stuff. We should be able to take charge of the situation and make sure nobody gets hurt. But.
All right. I think that's it.